this is Matt with Senna House Buyers. Today we're going to talk about, so you want to invest in real estate. Look, as a wholesaler here in town, we get a lot of people that come in. Maybe they heard from a colleague that they have a rental property. They've always kind of been interested in getting a rental property or a flip project, and they don't really know where to start. A lot of times the first step in research is where do I find deals, which leads them to finding people like me who wholesale properties. The number one question we get every time from somebody looking to get started in investing in real estate is, and the answer is, it depends, and it's probably not as much as you thought it was going to be. So let's specifically talk today about rental properties. So if you're looking to start investing in rental property, let's walk through a couple of scenarios here and talk about how much money you're actually going to need to do that. So the beautiful thing about real estate is the power of using leverage, using debt to finance some of these properties. So what I'm going to talk about is how I purchased my own personal rental properties and the mechanics of how that works. So in this series of So You Want to Invest in Real Estate, we're going to talk about how to find deals, how to finance them, the different creative and alternative financing strategies, and what to do with them and what kind of returns you should be looking for when you do that. So let's just talk about buying a simple rental property. So we're going to talk about a technique with using loan-to-value debt as opposed to loan-to-cost debt. So typically speaking, when you go buy a home, if you're buying a house that you're going to live in, you find a mortgage broker or a mortgage lender, you go to a bank, you get a conventional loan. A lot of times they're going to ask you to put anywhere from 5 to 20%. A lot of people think you have to put 20% down when you purchase the property. That's not the case. So with that lender, they're looking at the loan to cost. So how much is that property going to cost you? Let's say you buy it for $100,000 and they want you to put X% down. So with real estate lending and investment real estate lending, you find lenders who are willing to lend on loan to value. So maybe that house is worth 100, but you were able to buy it for 70 or 75. They're willing to lend you $70,000 or $75,000, and that way you can lower the amount of cash that you're going to have to put out on that property. So typically speaking, if you're able to buy properties at a discount, a lot of times it's because that property needs work. That's how we find a lot of the houses that we sell here at Senna House Buyers. So let's say you're going to buy a house from me here at Senna House Buyers. The house is worth 100 grand. You're going to be all in with the purchase and the repair cost of about $75,000. So if you find a lender that will lend you $75,000 or $80,000 on that house, you can lower the amount of cash that you have to put out to be able to purchase that property. Now, there's a lot of moving parts that go into that. There's a lot of different variables that come into play, like how much repairs are going to be needed, things like that. The way that I invest in real estate personally is I have a private money lender or a hard money lender, and I use those lenders to purchase and repair the property, and then I will refinance into a longer term debt structure with a more conventional lender. So in another video, we'll talk about the numbers behind that kind of scenario and what that would look like. But when you're able to use this loan to value versus loan to cost difference with lending, you're able to find that you can actually purchase a rental property. And sometimes you're out of pocket nothing, but that's kind of the holy grail grand slam of a deal that you're looking for. Most of the time, anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000 will be enough cash for you to be able to safely invest in a rental property. So again, it depends on the mechanics of the lender, the mechanics of the deal, the mechanics of that piece of property, how much work it needs, things like that. But if you have the right lending partners, which we're going to talk about next week on private versus hard money, and you know what you're doing and you know how to find good deals by using a quality wholesaler or doing the marketing for them yourself, you're able to limit the amount of cash that you have to come out of pocket. So tune in now. We're going to start doing these videos here every week, talk about different things from financing, finding deals, building a business, investing in flip projects and rental projects and things like that. So if you have any comments or questions, or there's a particular question that you want answered that you don't have any clarity on, put it in the comments here below and we'll try to get that to you next week. So again, tune in next week. We're going to talk about private money versus hard money, what those things mean, where you can find them, things like that. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.